Liverpool has fallen. Yeah, you heard that right. Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool is no longer that feared team capable of relentlessly pressing opponents from the first minute to the last. You're probably thinking, they just demolished Manchester United 7-0 at Anfield. These guys are talking nonsense. Well, they also beat Bournemouth 9-0 at the start of the league, but they're still struggling to compete for a top 4 spot. So what happened to the mighty Reds? How did the 2021-22 Champions League finalists and FA Cup winners spiral down to become a team struggling to compete for a top 4 finish? Hang tight as we delve deep into what caused Liverpool's quick downfall. Before the arrival of Jurgen Klopp in 2015, Liverpool struggled to compete domestically and in Europe. The Germans steadily built one of the best teams ever seen for a while in British football, ending a 30-year drought of no Premier League titles. Liverpool also reached 3 Champions League finals in the last 5 seasons and won 1 in 2019. Outside of Klopp's first season in England, the Reds never finished a season outside of the top 4, challenging Manchester City nearly every year for the title and collecting more than 90 points in 3 different seasons. Last season, Liverpool lost the Premier League title to City with a single point difference. They also lost the Champions League final to Real Madrid. Still, they managed to lift the FA Cup and started the current season on a high note with the Community Shield 3-1 win over Manchester City. Regular service is resumed, and the club will continue performing at its best, right? Well, not until the season started. Liverpool League campaign didn't start as the fans had hoped. It wasn't until the 4th game week of the season that they succeeded in winning their first game. The Reds are also struggling to keep up with the top 4 race, with clubs like Manchester United, Newcastle, and Tottenham slowly cementing their position at the top of the table. Klopp's men are also struggling in the Champions League. After finishing second behind Napoli in the group stages, they are now completely out of the competition after being humiliated 6-2 on aggregate from Real Madrid. So what happened to Liverpool? Why are they no longer capable of performing at their best? Well, we believe that the club's current situation is caused by a series of bad decisions. In recent years, Liverpool has been known for their lethal trio up front of Salah, Firmino, and Sadio Mane. The latter joined Bayern Munich in the summer transfer window, and the Reds splashed a whopping €80 million to bring Darwin Núñez from Benfica. Don't get us wrong, Darwin is one hell of a forward, but he has an entirely different profile from Sadio Mane. This caused Liverpool's famous pressing style of play to somehow lose structure. The fluidity between the front 3 is no longer there, and the pressing patterns are almost inexistent. This, of course, could be fixed with time. The club might regain the relentless front foot pressing with players like Diogo Jota and Luis Diaz returning from injuries. However, we believe there exists another issue that will be hard for Jurgen Klopp to fix this season. This season, and Liverpool's struggles mainly came from the average performances of their midfield. The mixture of high-intensity football Klopp wants to play, and the loaded schedule of the English league most definitely took its toll on the players' physical capabilities, especially when they've been performing on this level for the past 5 years. For example, there's a noticeable decline in Fabinho, Henderson, and Keita's performances. They can no longer keep up with Klopp's intense style and are failing to perform their off-ball duties. This caused the whole team's defensive structure to collapse. 3-0 to Brighton and 3-0 to Wolves were the product of a high defensive line combined with the lack of sufficient pressure. Halfway through the current season, Liverpool already conceded more goals than they did throughout the entirety of the 2021-2022 campaign. Now, the lack of midfielders issue did not start this season. Wijnaldum, who was instrumental to Liverpool during their peak, left the club for PSG in 2011 and was never replaced with a player who shares the same abilities. The Merseyside club had 2 chances to address the situation during the summer and winter transfer windows. They still decided to spend their budgets on forwards, Gakpo being the latest to join. 18-year-old Stefan Bajcetic was promoted last summer to the senior squad. He instantly had a positive impact when he was introduced to the first team. He began to regularly start for Jurgen Klopp, which shows how badly Liverpool needed high-volume ball winners, especially with Fabinho, Henderson, and Keita not being at their best. To regain their aggressive front foot pressing football style, Liverpool should target at least 2 midfielders during the next transfer window. The club was heavily linked with Matheus Nunes last summer, who would have fit perfectly in Klopp's right central midfielder position. However, they lost the player to Wolves, which in all honesty was a lost opportunity. Another option for Liverpool to consider is Moises Caicedo. Although the Ecuadorian agreed to a new deal with Brighton lately, he'll probably be sold if the club receives the transfer fee they want. Caicedo would immediately solve Liverpool's issues in midfield. He can play as a 6 or an 8, is outstanding in tight areas, and is an exceptional ball winner. Bringing him to Anfield would completely transform the Reds. Eras come to an end mainly because of bad recruitment strategies and poor long-term squad planning. If Liverpool's board continues to neglect these areas, the club will most definitely go through a long trophyless period once again. Do you think that Liverpool time is coming to an end? Or will the Reds pick themselves up next season and regain their brutal style of play? Share your thoughts in the comments, and remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons. We'll see you in the next one. Ciao.